Lo b'shamayim, lo b'shamayim hiv. It is not in heaven. The Torah is not in heaven. Devrarim 30:12. Today's new Chidushei Torah. So, this pasuk, these words from the pasuk in Gematria Kolel, this part Kolel, equals the word Tzigaleh, 438. You shall uncover. The phrase "not in heaven" is understood to justify man's authority to interpret the Torah. The Talmud explains the Torah is not in heaven to mean that the meaning of the Torah itself is to be uncovered, but by man's interpretation and decision making. In the academic study of the Jewish law, the verse "not in heaven" serves as a biblical grounding for the structure of halacha, Jewish law. The source for rabbinic authority is really from Devrarim 17:11, where it says, "According to the law which they shall teach you, and according to the judgment which they shall tell you, you shall do." As one author explains, thanks to the Midrash reading on the verse, Hashem himself acquiesced his exclusion from the halachic process. Having revealed his will on Sinai in the groundwork, he himself, according to the rabbinical explanation, entrusted the interpretation of his will to the sages. Even though the Torah is not in heaven, its wisdom is still difficult to uncover for mankind. Even Moshe Rabbeinu had to be retaught the Torah countless times when he ascended the mountain. Bekiso, 438 as well. His weeping and praying to Hashem to open up his mind to its mysteries was necessary. Finally, Hashem gave it to him as a gift, yet the 50th gate was still closed. So if the Torah isn't in Shemayim, why should one have to toil, not only in hard work to understand it, but also in prayer to Hashem to reveal its mysteries? It is because Hashem wants a person to prevail over him, to defeat him in a sense and take it. Let's go to a story in the Talmud that shows Hashem's appreciation for the hard work of the students of the Torah. There was once a dispute between Rabbi Eliezer ben Horkanas and the sages. Rabbi Eliezer brought every possible argument and went to prove it by changing nature itself. The sages replied each time that you can't do that to prove your point. Eventually, even a baskol, a voice from heaven, was heard, confirming Rabbi Eliezer's opinion, in which Rabbi Yeshua remarked, "Lo vashamayim hiv." It is not in heaven. Following the dispute, Rav Nassan met Eliyahu Navi, and asked him, what did Hashem, blessed be He, do that hour? And Eliyahu responded, Ka chayich v'yamar. He was laughing and saying, Nitzchuni bonai. My children have prevailed over me. My children have prevailed over me. He was laughing. He was excited. Rabbi Nachman teaches, when a person speaks to Hashem and uses every kind of argument and appeal to conquer Hashem, so to speak, then Hashem himself has great joy and pleasure from this. He will send words to this person's mouth so that he will be able to conquer him. How else could flesh and blood win a victory against Hashem? It's only because Hashem himself helps Likutei Eitzos, his Bodhidus. Now, if you take the words, my children have prevailed over me, my children have prevailed over me, you come to the Gematria reverse Avgad of 462. This shares the word Vetena, and I will give. Through prayer and hard work, Hashem will give you mastery of the Torah. Now let's just take Nischunia Banai one time. It was said 2 times by Hashem. Let's just take it one time. We see another revelation in the Gematria Atbash, Gematria, which totals 552. Now, how else could you overcome obstacles by Vishamru, and you shall keep? Mitzvosai, both words equaling 552. So you prevail through keeping the mitzvos and the Torah. This allows you to overcome Hashem, so to speak. So how else can you defeat Hashem? Well, when a decree is against a person in heaven, sometimes the only way to overturn it is to give charity. As it says, charity saves a person from death. Charity can also defeat any obstacle and change the natural order of events. Therefore, the same gematria of the words Nitzchuni Banai is equivalent to Aser, to 5 one's money. In the Talmud Eruvin 55a, Avdimi bar Chama bar Dosa said, "What is the meaning of that which is written? It is not in heaven, nor is it beyond the sea." Devrarim 30, 12, 13. It is not in heaven indicates that if it were in heaven, you would have to ascend after it. And if it were beyond the sea, you would have to cross after it. Rashi explains that one must expend whatever effort is necessary in order to study Torah. Expounding the verse differently, Rava said, "It is not in heaven," means that the Torah is not to be found in someone who raises his mind over it like the heavens. The Maharshal explains this, that he thinks his mind is above the Torah and he does not need a teacher. Nor is it to be found in someone who expands his mind over it, like the sea. The Maharshal explains that he thinks he knows everything there is to know about the topic he has learned, and he doesn't feel he has to review it. So too, he's not careful not to forget it. Rav Yochanan said, "It is not in heaven," means that the Torah is not to be found in the haughty, those who raise their self-image as though they were in heaven. Nor is it beyond the sea, means that it is not to be found among the merchants or traders who are constantly traveling and do not have the time to study Torah properly. Rashi further explains that a Torah scholar must spend most of his time studying indoors and not to be out in the streets pursuing his affairs. The Gemara Nida 70b states that the people of Alexandria, Egypt, asked Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya, "What should a person do in order to become wise in Torah?" He answered, "Spend more time in learning and less in business." Rav Shas Cohen explains this Gemara to me that Rabbi Yeshua ben Chananya did not retract his original counsel, but added to it another essential condition. To merit the Torah's wisdom, it is not enough to be very diligent in studying and to minimize other pursuits, but one must pray to the Holy One, blessed be He, beseeching Him to bestow wisdom and knowledge of Torah. So now that you know that the Torah is not in heaven, that doesn't mean you should look at it any less. The Torah is still heavenly. The more you purify yourself and work to become a vessel to house the Torah here on earth, the greater your revelation of her will be. The Talmud warns us on how difficult it is to keep the Torah within you. As it says, that words of Torah are as difficult to acquire as golden vessels, which are very expensive, and as easy to lose as glass ones, which are very fragile. Chagiga 15a. Now, anyone can study Torah. It's there for the taking. However, to acquire Torah, one must have purity. Besides purity, the Torah must come first. The Gemara says in Barachos 35b, Rabbi Bar Chana said in the name of Rabbi Yochanan, who said in the name of Rabbi Yehuda Bar Rabbi, in the name of Rabbi Yehuda Bar Eli, come and see how the previous generations were unlike these generations. The earlier generations used to make Torah their constant occupation, and business their occasional occupation. They were successful in both. The later generations, who made their business their constant occupation and Torah their occasional occupation, were successful in neither. Therefore, we must prioritize our lives and put forward that which is most important. We must make deep reflection on our true purpose and recommit ourselves to Torah and mitzvos. So much time has already been lost, but there's always an opportunity to amend our wrongs. Our sages tell us the words of Torah only endure for those who slay themselves over it, says in Brachos 6b. Rabbi Akiva started his pursuit of Torah at the ripe old age of 40 and had thousands of students. In Megillah 6b it says, if someone tells you I worked hard and found the truth, believe him. But if he tells you I worked hard and did not find, or I did not work hard but I found, do not believe him. As it says in Bamidbar 19:14, this is the Torah when a man dies in a tent. The Talmud states, he who humble himself for the sake of the Torah in this world is magnified in the next. And he who makes himself a servant to the study of the Torah in this world becomes free in the next. Bava Metzia 85b. The Talmud says, just as light protects forever, so Torah protects forever. And it says, when you walk, it will guide you. When you lie down, it will watch over you. When you wake up, it will advocate for you. Sota 21a. Therefore the Torah, it's not in heaven. Hashem could have given the Torah to the angels or the luminaries, but He didn't. He gave it to you. Now, it's up to you to realize the great gift you have been given and to use it as your guidebook to live a holy life. A life higher than the angels, one unreachable by anyone else but a simple Jew. Shalom from Yerushalayim Yer HaKodesh. I wish you much hatzlacha and success in your endeavors and in the study of Torah. Shalom.